Greetings everybody, Multi Retro Man here. Now, I was thinking of selling my car, my Twintop, because, well, I've had it for such a long time now. Well, 12 and a half years. Anything but I'm looking at something different, you know, because it's getting a bit old now. You know, it's got quite a few miles on the clock. And I'm thinking, well, you know, it's coming up to summer. Good time to be selling it, you know. Let somebody else use it for a bit, because we're looking at maybe down, because we've already got 2 diesel cars, looking at getting a petrol car, something a little bit cheaper, still smaller, because we don't really need, you know, we've got a 7-seater diesels, which is good for the family, and we don't really need a diesel for pottering about town, because we don't do the mileage, you know. So we're thinking we'll, you know, get a petrol one. However, I did a little video, this one. Just go through a video of my car. It's got dash cam. What's that now? Sorry. Just turn it down a bit. It all works fine. You know, you got all the options here. Obviously, the engine management light's on there. That one. That's usually on because I've had the EGR valve blanked off, but it drives perfectly. That's flashing. The seatbelt light's flashing because I've not got my seatbelt on. So the bad point, you can probably see from the light, the lacquer's coming off the car there. These bulbs have just started to a couple of bulbs have started to go. Which, you know, that part there was when my wife went into the back of the car, but it didn't actually set any airbags off or anything. Just a little crack on there. The rear parking sensors work perfectly. There's a slight little dint in the bit there, look, there and there. Other than that, it's a sound car. I mean, you've got sort of ghosting effect on there. You know, that needs cleaning, which I've tried to do, but it's not worked. But inside the boot, there's, for some reason, they've dealt a little bit of a leak in the boot. You can see very well there, but this bit here is just a little bit wet, a bit of damp. Not sure why, not sure where it's coming from either, because they're okay. See, I put a new one of them on, well, I fitted one on there, and there's no leaks on there. There was the blockage before on there, but I've cleared that out, so that's fine as well. And the roof, like I said, the roof works perfect. The roof's fine. Had the work actually done by Rob Worth. You see all the wiring's been done perfectly. He's done all the things inside as well. And after that, I took my daughter. I dropped my daughter off at work. Came back, no problem. Went to Asda to get a birthday cake for my son. And coming back, this happened.
Oh,
Oh, and engine.
yeah, that's not good.
Cute now. Like that one of James's is alright, because it changed gear quite quick.
There's always something wrong with it. James's.
Oh
You floored it, hadn't you?
shit. No, I haven't, it's just done it on its own. Fuck. It's smoking.
Oh! It's about to go. Any minute. I'll just pull in. That's it. How's a dump?
Bastard.
Right.
Let's get out of the car.
Alfred, bank. Have we got it in as our race Have we got it in as RAC?
They think it's blown a gasket or something because it was over revving earlier. They think the turbo's gone again. So the second hand turbo's knackered. So, it looks like now we're going to have to be scrapped. Seeing if somebody wants to buy it for parts. Whether they will or not, though, is a completely different matter. I don't think they will do, but, you know, they might be good to somebody because it's got built-in sat-nav. What's it got? It's got cruise control, rear parking sensors. And it was basically, at the time, not many cars kind of had that, you know. And it's a hard-top convertible rather than a soft-top. Because at one point there was all the soft tops that were going a bit, you know, getting ripped and everything, and I thought, well, I wanted a hard top one. I had it for well, like I said, I had it for 12.5 years, and I'd be sad to see it go because we both like it. Me and my wife, we love the car. It's a really nice car, but at the end of the day, it had that issue. Now we'd had previously a second-hand turbo fitted because the new ones would have been about £600, you know, and this reconditioned the second-hand one. I thought, well, if it lasts for a few years, then fair enough. However, what I didn't bank on it doing was what it did, and that was to backfire and overrun the engine, because it did it once before when it overrun the engine, but didn't actually cause any damage to the engine. And unfortunately, this time when it did the overrun on the engine, it's broken it. So, unfortunately, yeah, we're gonna have to get rid of it and get something else. So after last night, I decided to put an advert on Facebook on a Twintop group that I'm a member of, and I remember there was a guy that fixed the roof for me, and I thought, well, I'll contact him. He wasn't interested because he doesn't keep the cars, for stuff. So he suggested somebody else, a guy called Chris Ellis, and Chris Ellis is he has quite a few Twintops, and he basically takes all the parts that he needs off them, and puts them to good use for another car, if another car needs it, and he keeps them going basically. And I explained, he was asking me how much I wanted, and I explained to him how much I'd been offered or that had been seen on for scrap value, and he said, yeah, fine. So I'm quite happy with the deal. It will obviously come and collect it at some point in the near future, by which point I'll have probably got a different car anyway, but I'm hoping that I get the car off the drive before I get the other car, because obviously I want to keep the newer car on the drive, but again, it all depends on kind of finances with the other car, how much you want it, etc, etc. So what can I say? It's end of an era really for my Twintop. Like I said, I've had it for 12.5 years. It's not been trouble-free motoring by any stretch of imagination, because the roofs are problematic on them. You get leaks. My car's pretty much had everything you can think of really over the years. The only thing is, and the big saving grace, which I'm really chuffed about with it really, is that it's still on the original clutch and the original gearbox. It was just under 114,500 miles, and a guy once said that the Twintops, the gears or whatever, the clutch doesn't last to any more than 120,000 miles, and I was hoping that the car would last a bit longer than 120,000 miles, but again, it's a 17-year-old car, and I've paid to have certain stuff done on it and things, and I think the point is now that if I'd actually if we got loads of money and I got it repaired, like new engine or whatever, it would probably still need a clutch at some point in the near future, because like you say, if the guy's right and it does, when it comes to 120,000 miles, it's going to need a new clutch, then that's what's going to happen. It's going to need a new clutch, possibly a gearbox as well, because if it takes the gearbox out, because the gearboxes are notoriously problematic with the Twintops as well, but I've had not really issue. The only thing I had was there's like a central thing that if you put it into gear and you let go, it then automatically goes back into the middle, and that stopped happening on mine. It kind of broke. I've driven with my friend James Hobson many years ago, going towards Chesterfield, and we drove along and I went, and I hear this kick. I thought, oh my gosh, and I thought the gearbox had actually had it, but it didn't, and I just drove it nicely, driving it mad about, and like you say, it's been a great car. It's been problematic. It's one of the thing with Twintops, and a lot of people will tell you, it's a love-hate relationship. When it's a sunny day like this, which unfortunately it's not running now, but when it's a sunny day like this and you've got the top down, when it's warm in the summer, there's nothing better. It's such a lovely car to drive. It's easy to drive, and when it comes to obviously winter, you obviously have the top up, everything up, because it's a hard top. The heater inside the car it's really efficient. It's lovely and warm. It gets warm quick. With some cars, like some of the Zafiras, etc., when they've had the updates, they kind of get a bit. What can you say? They're not as good since they had the change, because they had some recall work done. Anyhow, but I'm digressing from the Twintop, So let's go back to the Twintop, shall we? What else can I say about them? They're fun cars. They're great to drive. Like I said, but be a bit quirky with the problems that you have with them. But I think going forward, diesels. The reason I got a diesel is I used to do lots of miles when I used to work at a place I used to work at, and then when I was made redundant, I didn't do as many miles then, and since then it's because I'm at the moment I'm a house husband, which I'll probably get a new job soon anyway, but I'm a house husband and it didn't really get the use that it wanted. My wife took it to work and back, but when it started having the issues, we thought, well, we better leave it at home. So the next purchase is going to be a petrol car, because I don't need it for going long distances really. It's only primarily used for just bobbing about town, So if we want to go anywhere like the seaside, we've got there's a diesel Zafira, and obviously anything else pottering around town or whatever, if I need to go in town or anywhere else, a petrol car will do fine. Yes, they might not be as economical, some of them, you know. The one that I've got my eye on, which hopefully will come through, they're not as economical, but they're more reliable. You know, I mean, we've had petrol cars in the past, and they've never had as many problems as these Astra Twintops, well, the diesel ones, you know. The age of the thing as well, I just thought, nah, I need to get rid of it. You know, it's not, you can't hope and rely on a car that's not very economical, can you? But let's say hopefully they'll be able to get some stuff off it, make a bit of money out of it as well. I mean, I've lost a bit of money lately, but then what can I say? That's owning a car. You know, you buy a car, you're forever paying out, no matter which car you've got with it. It could be the most reliable car. I mean, we had a Toyota Corolla Verso before we got the Zafira, and the head gasket had gone on it. Or we thought the head gasket had gone because there was a leak. There was seal leaks coming out of the stuff, and we thought, I'm not paying to get that repaired because that would have been about $2.5 grand. The car weren't even worth that, you know. So we got rid and we got the Zafira. Yeah, it's just like normal wear and tear items like your springs, especially with the roads around where we are. The roads are absolutely diabolical. You know, you pay your road tax, and it's just, you know, 9 times out of 10 you'll be driving along, and the dash cam, because it saves the footage, which I'll show you in a minute, because of the roads being that rattly. So what can I say? Well, thanks very much for watching this video. Hope you found it useful. If you've got anything you'd like to say, or you know, any words or anything, please let me know. And I would like to say that the RSE guy was absolutely spot on. Yeah, and so I said to him, he asked me if I got any plaques or anything. I said no, I've only got 498 subscribers. So what? He says, well, I got it. Is that you? Yep. So boom, 499. So thanks ever so much for that. So yeah, what can I say? End of an era, on with new. But like you say, I've got less emotional with it, you know, over the years, because I love the car to bits, and I still do love the car, you know. But at the end of the day, it's what it is. You know, it's broken, it's packed up. It's said to me, right, I say, don't need to spend any more money on, because if I do spend more money on it, you know, if we, you know, to need a new turbo, so that's 600 quid. The engine's gone, so that's probably going to be what, £400. So that's £1,000 straight away for a diesel car. Then you've got the clutch, you've got the gearbox that will probably need replacing as well. But also the timing belt's not been changed for a while either. I had it changed, must have been about what, 6 years ago, something like that. Maybe even longer than that, maybe, you know. It's just crazy. The amount of money that would probably want spending on it is just not worth it. So unless you can, I mean, obviously I'm not no mechanic or anything, and if you can do it yourself, then fine. But if you can't, like me, it's not worth it. So, oh, that's binging, that's my phone. Anyway, well, thanks very much for watching. Like I said, take care everybody, stay safe, and if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to the channel, because it doesn't cost anything, and I'd like to appreciate more subscribers, and hit the bell notification for any new videos. Thanks very much. Cheers. Bye bye.